I am Melissa Cadieux, and I will be co-hosting today's call with the beautiful Alex Sabatelli-Reger. And this call is really about launching your business, your LifeWave business. So you have your patches and you're excited, you want to share about the patches. How do you do that? How do you go about that? So this is a great call where we do Q&A. We'll share a little insight into a topic in the beginning, and then we definitely really encourage you to ask your questions. If you're here live, you can type that in the comment sections or in the chat box. And just a little reminder, you may or may not have been on this past Monday's Leadership Lab call where they mentioned and they announced that we are wrapping up this live series. And we'll talk more about that later on in this call and what's going to happen moving forward with that. And so we can just get right into it so we can use the full 45 minutes. And we want to just start this call off around sharing your business and getting your business going. And if you could start all over again in launching your business, what would you do? Would you do anything differently? How would you approach that if you can reboot and reset on launching your business? And also something that Alex kind of mentioned, I love this idea of touching in on your business plan, if you will, maybe twice a year or quarterly throughout the year, and just to check in on what do you want to create? How do you want to show up? How can you reevaluate? So we wanted to kick this call off talking about that. And Alex will share her insight around that. I'll share mine afterwards. And then also, again, encouraging you to ask your questions as this is the last live call we have together. It is recorded and we'll talk about what's going to happen after that. But I'll pass it over to you, Alex, and we can talk about if you had a chance all over again to reboot and relaunch your business, what would you do differently? How would you do that?
Well, well, first, even just when this idea kind of popped up, it was sort of like, well, every day is a new day, right? Every day is a new day to reevaluate and say, how am I feeling today? Am I happy with what I did yesterday? What can I, because I'm more and more and more really practicing living in the present moment and being in an alignment so that I'm always in the present moment. So I think more for me, and I haven't thought about this ahead of time, you guys, I never do this. These calls are usually like so spontaneous. But what I'm kind of getting right now is the sense of what is my intention? Is my intention, am I still in alignment with my intention? How is that feeling in my body? Like, does that feel good? Does it feel like a flow? Am I charged up? Am I excited to start my day? Or is there a blockage there? Is there something that's off? And I think that the more you start to notice if you're feeling a little bit off, that would be a perfect time to reevaluate. And we'll talk about how to do that. But when I feel in alignment, then it's like, okay, well, what does my day look like? What are my windows? If I didn't plan them the day before, then I take a peek at that. And then it's usually I'm just saying, like, this is how I normally would start my day. It would be, you could call it a prayer, an intention, just a way of like, please put me in the path of the people who are looking for me that I can serve to their highest, and give me the words to say, and the ears to hear their concerns and so on. I invite that in. And I also love to put the intention of who is that perfect or ideal business partner that I would love to attract into my business as well. And then it's a quick check. Am I being that? Am I taking care of the vessel and of the person who is trying to attract that? Because we attract who we are, not necessarily what we say or think. It's who we are. And 95% of that who we are is subconsciously running the show. So we bring ourselves present, and then we kind of check in with that and go, okay, am I being, I'm going to attract who I am, and am I feeling in alignment, and how do I step up and sharpen the saw of who I am, and so that I can, bring that in. So when I start to feel out of alignment, or I start to feel like, okay, business, maybe I'm doing a little bit too much management or too many calls and not enough actual new people coming in, if I'm not finding that many that I'm following up with in the next day, or there's not an event to invite to that I feel excited about, that's when I reevaluate. That's when I really look and go, okay, what piece is out of place here? And so I would say, just in terms of a restart, the first thing to do is to just check in with you. And so that passion path process that I did in the first week of January, I think I did it on Launch Lab on this call. That passion path process is a way to really, like, just yearly is all you need to do. That one is to just really figure out what's your deepest driving force and what really lights you up. And that's something that you can measure everything in your life to, not just this business, but the business certainly is a big part of it. And when that's in alignment with what really is your core drive, this, driving force when your business is, you're just going to find much more ease anyway, and you're going to notice when the things come in that are in alignment. So you'll feel it. You'll feel charged up. You'll feel lit up. You at the end of the day, you have more energy, not less, that kind of thing. So that passion path process is definitely a yearly thing that I put on my calendar to do, Christmas time, whatever, somewhere right around the new year, to really reevaluate. Has that shifted? Has that grown or expanded? So checking in with that. So if you've done that work, perfect. Grab that statement. Does it still light you up and give you goosebumps? And what about my business is in alignment with this? And what about my business right now is not? And what needs to change? And you can ask about that. You can meditate on it. You can pray on it. You can write about it and journal about it. But usually if you just ask and you're open to listen to hear the answer of what's in alignment or not in alignment, it will come. It will usually come within about 24, 48 hours. Suddenly some messages will come through and you'll just be like, oh, you know what? I think I want to shift into this other way of doing things. And that's when these calls are excellent. So being able to come back to these calls later and see the different ways that you can build it, right? I want to focus on doing events now for the next 3 months. I want to focus on actually stepping up and creating my own events and speaking a little bit, or doing something in my home, or I'm going to go onto the YouTube channel and I'm going to fall in love with one training call or David Schmidt call or something every week, whatever. I'm pulling these out of anywhere, but like, you could literally create an event for yourself every single week with one recorded call and create an event where you literally just play the call on Zoom, but have people come to it, discuss it, talk about it, what's so exciting about it, about the whatever's being taught or learned, or whatever's being trained on. These are types of ways that you can start to create some leadership, some movement in your business, and some excitement and something to invite people to, which is really a big part of that 331. So I was thinking about that earlier, like, if we're not doing these live calls every week, what do you invite people to? And that's really what you can do. You can create something live with something that's recorded. All you have to do is create a room like this, or bring people to your home or whatever. And then you just turn it on the other screen and you play it. That's it. You just play it, have a conversation about it, talk about, ask a question ahead of time, have people take notes or write down who they think of when they hear it. And then all together, how do we all do this together? An example would be, you have a new person who comes in, they want to launch their business. Okay, how can we launch the business together? Let's find, 2 or 3 different videos of Schmidt or one of our things, or, what have you, and put them on a little calendar and start inviting people to it so you can launch your business with it. And then as the person who's the sponsor, you might host that for your new person. You don't have to be an expert to do it. You just host it. And because you're doing it with your friend, it's a community. It's just a community little event. It's like meeting at the coffee shop. So it doesn't need to be scary. So there's so many different ways that you can kind of reinvigorate the business. But I think it really, in general, get reconnected to the why and what is it that you want to create in the business, and how much time do I want to, basically put into it each week or day, or however you want to like block that out for yourself. And we did a training on that. And then it's creating stuff around it, like giving yourself the framework for it. Okay, I'm going to do these calls. I'm going to create this event, and here's my list, and I'm going to freshen up my list, or whatever it is. It's going to be so unique to you, but you've got to get to where that charge is kind of coming back. And so that's really what I would do. So like at Christmas time, that's basically what I did. I redid my why, of which I then did a training on it. As I was doing that, I was getting really excited. Actually, shortly before that, I was getting excited again about soulful selling, right? And I had started tapping into the book, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to train my team about this. So what did I do? I created 5-part series on that, which turned into like creating PowerPoints and whatever. But I sunk into the education again. I put it back in my bones. It was exciting. It's something I could share with other people. And it was part of my relaunching in a way. And in that process, it's like create a list of 100. Okay, all right, I got to do that now too. So I created a list of 100, and I'm like, who am I super excited about? Who do I want to invite into my team? Who do I want to be my running team that I focus with for the next 6 months or for 3 months? So there's all kinds of different ways to do it, but I think so much of it is creating something for yourself, to own it, to let it sink into you. Because when you teach something, it becomes a part of your wisdom now. It becomes embodied. And so who do you have that you have brought in that you can teach something new or hold an event for, or something that steps you into that next level for you? And that's really how I would look at restarting anything. Means you're going to restart at a next level. It's an up spiral, and it's going to come around and around and around. But each time you come around, you pick up the tools that you had learned, you reevaluate, you realign, and then how can I step myself up in that next level? And then in the next level, and that's how the whole business will continue to unfold. So that's kind of esoteric, but it's kind of the way I view it all. Yeah.
Hmm, beautiful. Sally
Not
says,
step by step.
yeah, I know. For those that are more practical, like, but what will you actually
That is not left brained.
Yeah.
Tell me what to do.
So Sally says, I have sent your recordings of Launch Lab and Soulful Selling to numerous people I've enrolled and asked my new managers to do the same. Fabulous trainings. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for that. I appreciate that feedback. That makes me happy. That makes me happy.
What stuck out to me around what you said was the why and revisiting the passion path process. I don't know if you guys have done that call with Alex, but I mean, tapping into your why is so huge. And I know we go through highs and lows and waves in the business. I know at least I have. And I think for me right now, and I'm thinking about this question, like how would I do it again and restart and relaunch and just revisit? I'm at a good point where I can revisit. For me, what's coming to me is tap into my why. Because like whenever you're coming up against like a resistance or a block or whatever it is, when you tap into your true core why, that is what's going to keep me going and keep me out of my own self-limiting beliefs or projections or anything like that. It's like, okay, what is my why? My come from, as Alex says. There was one thing in that training, in that call, that really stood out to me that was powerful. If you haven't done it yet, let this be your seed to go and watch it. Was not to give too much away, but Alex, one of the prompts was to write your own eulogy, which I've done that before. I think maybe 7 years ago, but to do that again, I think to do that yearly is so potent, to as if you are writing your own eulogy and what would you want to have been said about you. And then to tap into that, like that is like the essence of like why of your why of what you're here to do. And so I think that was really powerful. That's probably what I'm going to do to revisit, reassessing and reevaluating my business.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And the why has to be greater than your fear, period. It just has to. And then when you get into that state also, then what happens is that's infused in what you share. So when you're sharing about the product, your belief in the product is another huge thing. Rebuild your belief in the product, the company, the industry, the basics of the marketing plan. Because when those four pieces of that puzzle are together, and then of course, the belief in you is at the center point of all of that. So we're just talking about the you piece, because when you do this work, you are blasting through limiting beliefs and you're looking at the things that are stopping you. But when that why is bigger and those other pieces of the puzzle are together, when you share the product with somebody, you become more bulletproof. Not only again because of the why that's behind it and the energy that's in what you're sharing, but also like that if that person that you just attracted in front of you is if you're doing your part of it and just sharing the education, they're gonna either come in or not, but it's not going to be, you're not going to take that as a personal attack or as a reflection of you, because you're solid. Like that come from, and that like those pieces, when they're solid, you not only are you bulletproof, but you're on fire to go out and tell people about it. And so yeah, and there's all the tools are there. All the tools are within in order to just dive in and say, okay, I'm going to sharpen the saw. I'm going to work on my belief systems around these things. You might really not be left brain. You may not want to know anything about the marketing plan. You just don't want, that's going to hinder your success. You need to just go ahead and step in. I say need to. I'm going to encourage that you go ahead and lean in, lean in, lean in, learn it enough, not so that you have to teach it, but that you believe in it and you are fired up about it. Because when you're fired up about it and that's attached to the why, and then you're fired up about the industry and that's attached to the why, and then the company and where the company is headed and what they've created and how long we've been in function and the beauty of this product that we have, when that's all in there, you become unstoppable and you become a magnet. And then you start to attract higher and higher quality people into your business too. It's pretty great.
I
Yeah.
think I want to use this opportunity to share a little like what I'm kind of coming up against right now and
Mm.
maybe coach me live.
Sure. Hot
Yeah.
seat.
Yay. So there's no questions coming through. So I was like, okay, I'll use my own experience. I have had so many people who are using the patches that have felt amazing experiences. I've had many, many one patch wonders. And I've also had people who really like are using it and really do want to see results, but then aren't really noticing much. And I think that's when I get a little bit like, how come it works for some people and for some like it works. Like we know what the science is telling us and what it's doing, but they just may not notice anything even like 3 or 4 months in. So that's when I get a little like how do I reframe that in myself? Like why does it I mean, I know I already know what it is, but I just wanted to hear your
Oh, no,
perspective.
no. Tell me what you know it is first. I want to
I
hear.
mean, it's just so different for everyone and what's going on in their body and their environment and like what they have going on. And also if they have enough copper circulating in their blood or if they're even aware of their own bodies. Sometimes people aren't just aware of what's going on. But what about those who are aware? Like I don't know. I just get caught up on that sometimes. So
Mhm.
what do you
Yeah,
have to say? How do I
it is
fix
what it
that?
is. It just kind of is what it is. When we start to really recognize the uniqueness of each person in each body and what they believe in. What they believe in is a part of it. The environment itself, like and obviously, you have really healthy friends, you have lots of people that are, already eating and doing the right things. So maybe they're already pretty balanced and they're not needing that extra support that's going to be super obvious. Sometimes people aren't in tune with their body and they're expecting to see something much more than what they're really looking for. So they're not really reporting it. Um,
Mm.
Sometimes it's just missed, like there's one gal in the team and who just wasn't feeling anything, wasn't feeling anything, wasn't feeling anything. And then when I went back and said, talked about this and that and the other thing, it was kind of like, oh, well, yeah, I did feel that. Oh, actually, yeah, you know what? I did notice that. And there were these obscure things that were not necessarily on the list. But then all of a sudden it was like, there's like 4 or 5 different things that she wasn't looking for, she wasn't expecting, and it just shifted everything. So you're going to see what you look for, and that's usually pretty much how it works. But then again, everybody's different. And David even says that. He said that about 10% of people, it's going to take longer to notice anything. It just is. And so again, the setting up the expectation, I think, is really important, and just knowing what it is facilitating in the body. And maybe some people are just already healthier. I honestly thought I was one of those people. I didn't expect anything at all. And I think that was, again, why and I was already in to share it with everybody because I was like, well, I don't think I'm normal in that way, that I do take really good care of myself. So whatever, I don't expect it, but I was like, oh, I got to tell people about this. So when I
Mm.
started doing that and then started having my own results, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me right now? I can't believe that
Mm.
I'm feeling this. I've never felt anything. And it just, yeah, and that'll throw me through the roof. But then again, I was already had like 5 diamonds at this point under me,
Mm.
that because I saw what it could do. So you just sometimes it matters and sometimes it doesn't. Like it didn't even matter to me if I was going to feel it because I knew what it was.
Yeah.
So sometimes we put a lot of weight on whether somebody's going to see or feel something, and it doesn't even really matter. But then, everybody's different. Everybody's so unique. And
Mm.
placebo will trump anything, by the way.
Yeah.
Your beliefs will always mess with it. So if you start to have doubt, that can definitely affect somebody's results.
So Sally said, if 10% take a bit longer, what's the percentage of the immediate results of one
We can't say that.
patch wonders? I don't
We can't
know.
say that. Yeah. I think in general, Onyx says about 10% of people are going to feel it right away. And then 10% aren't going to feel it at all, like for at least 30 days. Right. So, but I don't want to set anybody up for any of that at all.
Yeah.
If anything, I set people up not to feel anything and to really rely on the fact that these are the things that our science shows. And some amazing things can happen and will happen over time, sometimes immediate, sometimes not. But please do not look at that. Just use the tracker and just enjoy the product and know that it's doing great things in your body. And let's just connect and I'll build, share some more education so you can understand it more. And most everybody comes around to a point where they start to really look back and go, oh, wow, you know what? Especially the hair growth. Like that's something you don't necessarily notice until a few weeks in. And then it's like, oh, wait a second, my hair is thicker. And, that's huge.
And the amount of times I have to cut my nails is crazy. They're
I had
growing
to have them
so
done
fast.
yesterday. I had I do French tips, right? Or just not tips, but French paint or whatever. And I'm like, can you put it really low? Because they grow so fast. Like I can't have it grow out too much. So they're like half the nail is like painted white, but within a week it looks normal. I just had that done yesterday.
Yeah. So I see what you say, like in past calls, you would say like you're not huge on sharing testimonials for that reason, because it builds expectation for people.
Totally. I've just never been a testimony person. Yeah. I think for me, testimony, although it's wonderful, personal testimony is great. And I think it just in person with people, but I just know that when you share a testimony, that person expects that thing and they may not even be looking for that thing. People could tell me all day long that they threw the cane away and their pain's gone. And I've never had pain. So that doesn't speak to me. Like, I think it's great for them. That's awesome. But I'm not like, give me that because I don't have that issue. Right.
Yeah.
So but if somebody tells me this is going to light up your entire body and reset your stem cells and your youth, I can't wait to see how that shows up for you. I'm like, okay. Like there's just a big difference in the setup of the expectation and the broadness of and almost the wonder of how fun it's going to be to mine that out. Let me give you some more education. Let me give you some more so you can see what it's doing in your body. That's the game for me. More so than
Yeah.
I get this result, and then when it's done, it's done. Because then they ask you things like, well, how long do I need to be on this now? It's like, well, no, don't you understand? It's doing all this for your body. Why would you ever stop? Right? Like, of course you're going to stay on it,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? Yeah. Do you have any
Roger,
questions?
as I was wondering about.
You're
Now you
wondering.
know, Roger, why your nails. No, Roger.
Love it. So yeah, starting over, I
So
honestly, the simplest way to start over, go to step 9, go to that checklist and start from square one again. Just rewind a little bit further and go to your why first and maybe go through the soulful selling if you want to take your closing ratio higher and you want to start improving the way that the results you're getting with each person. Go through the soulful selling, take notes on things, really, how do you hone your craft, because this is your business. And if you're going to treat it like a business, it will treat you like one. But that means we always need to be working on improving ourselves and then learning how to do that for the team, because your team is I mean, it's a team effort. It really is. This is not like, and it's not about pushing them and managing them. It's, I learned this. Do you want to learn it with me? This really helped me. Let me show you where I found it. Maybe this can help you. How can I support what you want? Do you want to do a process to figure out what it is that you want? Things like that. And then really, I think digging also into the stinking thinking and what's going on between the ears is really important too. Like as a coach and healer, I'm always looking at the limiting beliefs, the negative programs, the core faulty things that we think about ourselves, and the crazy associations that we make and decide to be true for us that hold us back. They just hold us back. And so to question those things as well, and to get on the phone with your sponsor and just say, you know what, I keep hitting the same block. I keep hitting the same block. What do you see? What do you hear? And just explore it together so that you can maybe knock some of that stuff down as well and show up in that next level. Yeah. It's great
stinking
to
thinking. I love your lines.
stinking thinking.
So
Need a checkup
thinking,
from the neck
Jonathan,
up.
they're okay. There's more. There's more.
There's more.
Amazing.
They're awful. They're awful.
No, I love the cheesy stuff, and bring on all the dad jokes too. I love them. So Donna says, I have a few people in their 70s. This can work for them as well, right?
70s?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
They will notice the difference.
But not only will they notice a difference, but they're looking for something to do and they want to make money if they're retired. I tell you, when I first started this business, I had a whole group of 80-something-year-old women who were just like all on fire for this. They all had some disposable income, but wanted to make more money. They got incredible results. They always wanted to get together and they had time on their hands. It was just like a perfect demographic.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was awesome
Yeah.
demographic.
I found that because I also distribute and sell to a lot of my mom's friends, and they are the ones that feel and notice it a lot, and they're older.
Yep,
So they just don't have as much cells circulating. So they notice the difference
yep.
more so than a lot of my younger friends. Yeah, you're welcome, Donna. Ilana has something here. I've heard that Eon boosts X39. Also, is this something you would recommend to someone who is having slow results?
To jump into another product, sure. Yeah, if they're in on they're on board and they're like, I want to try adding something to it and see if I can get more results. Yes. Um, Yeah, and there's many different ways to go around that. I probably wouldn't start somebody on glutathione. That's the one. I mean, I love glutathione, but I also fast. And so I do a lot to really boost my own, ability to cleanse. But glutathione is a really, really high jump. It's like a 300% jump in that ability to detox. And so that can throw people into a healing crisis. So I wouldn't start with that. But Eon's awesome because it's anti-inflammatory. It's really great for the brain. It's also half the price of X39 or X49. So it's not a difficult add-on. And I would say that for people that are at the level of silver, it's a perfect bump up to go to gold and just give them the free Eon along with their next 2 months of X39. It's a really easy way to bump them up.
Yeah, yeah. And also us Canadians cannot get glutathione in Canada.
So sorry. I
But
actually use
there's always
glutathione all the time. I love it.
yeah. I mean, maybe you have some American friends and then anyway. So Sally says, yeah, for the 80-year-old women, I have 4 over 80 that are loving the patches with the Canadian flag. Yes.
Yeah.
And then Ilana says Eon is also very gentle. I actually wear Eon at night. It's really calming for the nervous system and just reduces that inflammation. Because I heard David say that you can wear that at night as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I do glutathione and I guess, well, shame on me. I'm going to tell you, I use almost all the patches. I do
So do
glutathione.
I. So do I.
I
I'm
do.
obsessed.
I do carnosine 3 times a week.
I'm
I
wearing
do,
carnosine right now.
right. I do that one at night, and I do glutathione, carnosine, the sleep ones, which I don't know that I even really need. Um,
Yeah.
the sleep ones just for the melatonin and for my pineal gland. I know it's healthy, and then I do the what other one do I do at nighttime? Alavita. Love Alavita.
I have to wear Alavita on my foot, like so far from my
Oh,
pineal
really?
gland, because if I wear it
Really?
close to here, it's too stimulating. So I'm like
Right.
working my way up my body because like the closer you wear it to your third eye, the
Yeah.
more intense your dreams are gonna be.
Oh,
So,
that's so great. I love that. I love that. I actually wear it on the back of the neck because that's where I notice the biggest change in my skin. I'm just like silky, silky, silky. So yeah, no, I love it. I don't do SP6. I don't need it. The energy patches I only do if I really need them. I don't really do those that much. But yeah, during the day it's just X39, X49, and Eon. Yeah.
yeah, that's
Those are
so funny. We're spilling all the beans. I'm
Sorry, but
obsessed.
I'm just gonna
Love
tell you on
them
the
all.
last call. I wear them all.
I do. I wear 49 every day as well.
Yeah. It's a good way to build your maintenance kit. I'll just tell you that. You can't do that with maintenance kit 3, but you can do it with some of the other ones, and it's a good way to build it up. So that's fun. What else we got?
Hey guys, what else is the last live? What do you want to know? What do you want to talk about? What questions do you have? Do you want a live coaching with Alex?
Yeah,
She's
hot seat,
great.
anyone? Anyone want a hot
Hot
seat?
seat. Yeah. Even if we've done it before, same questions, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just thinking, moving forward, like yeah, well, we're going to have all the trainings on here, so everything's going to be here. We may not, I guess I'll just talk about the wrap up just to while we're, waiting to see if you guys want to raise your hand on anything. So we decided, we got on the phone actually with Neve, who's on here, and Sierra, these are Onyx's daughters, and Lonnie and Onyx and myself, we all got on the phone and discussed, how these are going and basically just we love them, people love them, and we've covered all the basics, and we're starting to cycle back around to the same topics again, which I think is great, except when less people are showing up for the calls because they've already gotten the education. It comes to a point where it's like, okay, it's time to take a break. Let's see how things go. Let's get them all cataloged and put onto the website. And then if the need arises with new team that's coming in that really wants that live support, then we can certainly do it again. We've also talked about doing some kind of a live Q&A once or twice a month. that might be something we pick up in a month or two where, Onyx can come on. Maybe I can do something with her. We can kind of banter and then also bring, people on for live Q&As. I think that's going to be really well supported. And then, of course, the calls I was doing on Monday and Wednesdays, it was the same call over and over, right? Each one would have a different flavor and a different feeling to it. But again, as fewer people show up and we've got a huge catalog of replays of the same training, it just gets to a point where it's like, I could be doing something with that time to build my business. And certainly, it just makes sense, at a certain point where it's run its
Mhm.
course. And so it just kind of ran its course for now. But again, I think it's so important to understand how, like, to have something to build into, it's up to you now to create what that is. So to gather your team, let's say you have 5 new people on your team or 5 people that want to go somewhere with it, and you all decide, let's just get together on Monday nights and together watch a launch lab together and talk about it and do something and pull them up in order and create that as a way to gather your people together and create community and take that next step for your business. That's the kind of stuff that's like, now it's passing the baton on for you guys to be able to step into. So all that's possible for you. And so I don't feel like I'm like that we're leaving you guys hanging or anything like that. It's a little bittersweet though, because these are fun. I love these calls. I just do. I do.
Oh,
So that's how I feel about it. What do you
Ilana
want to
says, thank you so much. It's been great education. Now off to we go. Yes,
so
we are leaving the nest, we're leaving the cocoon, and we're gonna go spread our wings.
That's right. That's right. And so
Yeah.
for
Also,
you, yeah, you talk. And so I was just going to pass the baton to
oh,
you.
Sally said, oh, my internet. Oh, yeah, I'm here. Okay. Sally says, love of cataloging the recordings
Mhm.
for future training and sharing. Really appreciate the shorts on YouTube. Thank you all for your time, training, Q&A.
Well, thank you for
Very
showing up here,
welcome.
Sally, for tuning in, and Roger. And I feel like I'm on Romper Room all of a sudden. And I see Roger and I see, I love it. You guys are great. So yeah, but I also wanted to just say, if you do have, so I can't really do email Q&A with people because it just takes too much of my time. It does take a lot. But if you do have questions, we're trying to troubleshoot. I think we've been really trying to get more people on the Facebook group. But there's been some kind of tech issue where people are not getting accepted in as they're inviting their new people in. So that would be something I would really encourage, is that you do your best to get your new people on that Facebook group as soon as possible and try to engage there. That's the place to post questions and see if we can get some dialogue happening there so everybody can learn from the answers, and especially getting those new people in. Hopefully we don't really have a troubleshoot there. And maybe Neve will know more about that, or we will be able to put a post in on Facebook that kind of explains what's going on there, or something to that effect. And then I can make an effort to hop in there and answer some questions more often, or just every once in a while, if there's a bunch of questions that I feel like I can answer, I'll just throw a video in there and just tackle them that way. Again, just to leverage time and let everybody learn from your questions. So don't be afraid, don't be shy to ask those things, and tag me in Facebook at Alex Sabatelli Rager. And I'll pop up in there, and then I'll get the tag and I'll check it out and see if there's something I can answer for you there. And same thing for you. But
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Yep. You can also reach me on that Instagram page
right.
at Activate Your Light X39. So you can
Activate your light
always message me there and use
X39.
yeah, Activate Your Light X39
Okay.
On Instagram, and you can use that content. You share it and spin it. Some of it is neutral, like I'm not in all the videos, so you can use that. And Denny has a question here that I think we could address.
Okay.
He says, did anyone, or he or she, I'm not sure, did anyone out there get a compliance letter from LifeWave Corporate about 1 week ago? It's alarming to me that we have such cutting edge products, yet these guidelines say we can't say stem cells, GHKCU, etc.
Yeah, I started to hear about that again too. And David had a workaround about that because of the minerals, and basically the pack that's coming out really soon to help support with the foundational ingredients that the body needs in order for this GHK copper peptides to form in the body. And I think that that's there's something about not being able to say certain things without making sure that there's a consistency in the person who's using the patch having the environment for the patch to work in the body. And again, that's going to have to do with this supplement that he's put together. I just barely heard about it. Neve might know more about it, or Sierra, but I think that that'll get posted and that will be spoken about if there's a change that needs to happen. I'm sure that will be addressed like last time within the Facebook group by Onyx herself, because she stays up on top of that and kind of disseminates the information down. It is disconcerting because it's really just the powers that be, whatever, or that were that are just trying to control the situation here. It's a hugely growing market, and it's a hugely growing company within the market, and this product is really a game changer. And if it's a privately held company and they can't make money and it's disruptive in any way to their profit making, it's part of the issue. But they also, I think there's something to do with the consistency again, because you wear this patch and it sets up frequency that then works with the body, but the body itself has to be in its own certain state in order for it to really optimize. And so to make a claim, whether it's a study or not, without that, the media of the body or the medium of the body, the environment of the body being consistent, then it's hard to make a consistent claim. And I think that's really what the core issue is. But we'll see if that gets rectified when this new product comes out. I can't wait until those powders come out. I can't tell you how much I can't wait to get rid of the minerals and things that I have in my drawer that I take consistently. But yeah, I just don't know.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, Sally, we're even more restricted in Canada. This is true. I feel you. I am Canadian, so I get it.
Yeah, and it's gonna
she said it's the same compliance letter.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Also, I just want to say this here. I know it's still far away, but it's the 20-year anniversary of LifeWave, and I am going to convention. I just asked Alex before this call if she is going, and she is, and I'm excited to meet you in person. And everyone else who's going to be there.
Oh,
say
totally.
Hi, and I already got my hotel. Like, I'm bringing my mom and my husband, so that's going to be really fun.
And let me say that too, the more people you bring to these events, that will propel your business massively, massively. I actually wish that there were more like regional events that we could take people to, because that really will push your business forward. Like a conference will push you forward about a year. But like just like a regional smaller event, just like a day-long event or something, will push you forward 6 months. And when you bring people into that, it just infuses so much into the business. So creating smaller events yourself are really powerful, but then something even a little bit bigger. If I had more local people, I would probably put on like a small regional type of an event. And just do like a whole series of trainings and have them invite their new people in and stuff. Just not quite enough right here in my local area yet to do that, but that's another thing to kind of set your sights on. So great call on that. I think events are huge for building.
I went last October.
Yes,
and it was so inspiring, and to feel into the vision, to feel into the people who are behind all of this, David Schmidt, and what's coming. Like, I think for me, that was really powerful to like feel into the future, like the vision of what we're a part of, and to feel the family and the energy there, like thousands of people. It was so much fun. So this year's going to be even better.
Yeah. Yeah. What excites you most about where we're going? What excites you most about where we're going? Can you hear me?
Oh, sorry, the internet cut out. Yeah, I think for me, I feel like David Schmidt is really in tune with what's going on in the world, and I feel like he's really coming with these solutions for what might be coming in the world. I know that's so vague, but to me, that's just like an intuitive hit and feeling of like, okay, this guy is in tune and is aware of things, and yeah, so that really excites me.
Yeah,
like, and the fact also, and the fact that he's also aligned with source, with something higher, is very very in alignment for me as well. So Ilana says she has a question. What's your question?
She can come on live if she wants. Do you want to come on live, Ilana, or you can just type it? If we can let Ilana Wiesmark, I'm sorry if I butcher your name, sweetie.
Ilana, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, great. I just couldn't unmute myself. So I have a question. It's actually a pretty big question and it just popped in my head. And I wonder if you could give me like a 5 minute quick thing. So where do you draw the line between gently encouraging people to share with others and saying to them, hey, if you share with others, I'll I'll hold your hand. I'm happy to talk to them. I'm happy to help them get started. And so the fine line between that and doing all that work and running the risk of carrying a whole nother team
Hmm.
on behalf of that other person versus enrolling them yourself. Like where do you how do you get to there? You know what I'm saying? Do you understand my
Totally,
question?
totally got it. Yep. Yep. Do you want to tackle it first? Because I have an answer for that.
To be honest, my internet keeps cutting out and I heard like every third word.
Okay. Okay. So I understand the question to be, yeah, like how much hand holding before we take the training wheels off and let them fly or fall. So basic,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, we talked a little bit about this on Monday, but it's going to be individual for each person because everyone has their own sort of ability to be able to, crawl and then walk and then run. And so there's going to be some back and forth on that. I think in a lot of ways, I want to get my people paid as soon as possible. That's the most important thing is to get money in their account. So many times people come in with a quote unquote wholesale account. They're just looking to save some money, but I'm encouraging them to share. They start to talk a little bit and then I tell them how to connect me with somebody. And I'm more than happy to help get somebody on the product on their behalf. If they decide to order, we'll have a different conversation and we can talk about, looking at making a little bit of money if that fits for you. Otherwise, whatever. So that's kind of that process. But then that first person comes in and they're like, oh, well, no, I don't really want to do the business. And I say, well, what about the idea of do you think you're going to share with more people? Because it certainly can help to offset your cost. And then they might be like, well, yeah, sure. No, that would be great. I said, because this one's about $50 when this person orders. And so they'll be like, okay, yeah. So at that point, you really just decide, okay, am I going to just place this order without them, under them in their business center? Or am I going to get them on the phone and show them what I'm doing so that they can see where that is? And that's going to be your call. I would say most of the time, I talk with them, and if they don't have an interest yet, I say, okay, well, I'm just going to place this person under, but I'm only going to do it if we can get on the phone so we can hook it up so that you can take that money out for yourself because it's not just going to happen. It doesn't come off of your products. So if you're willing to take some time and we can get on a Zoom or we can sit next to each other and I can show you what that looks like and what it means to be in the back office, then by all means, I will do this on your behalf to save some time. So then it's the next step. And then it's, okay, let's do this together. Most of the time, I just say, let's put the order in together. I want to show you what your back office does. And then we'll just place the order underneath you. And don't worry, I can hold your hand until you're ready to do this on your own. But you have to see really where they're at and if they really want to do it or not. And then you
Yeah.
just decide whether or not you're going to build it or not. And we talked about this with a chiropractic office, for instance, or like somebody with a storefront. It might be that you're placing the orders for them, but I always want to make sure they're doing the sales for the preferred customers and any retail. That's on them. But if they have somebody who wants to get wholesale or who wants to do the business, that's when they send them to me. I'll place them under them and I'll continue to do that because the points will be there. And I want them to get paid and be excited and keep talking because that will eventually, I mean, that pays us. But if it gets to be so much, which only happens once in a while, if it gets to be way too much, I'm going to let them know. You take two, I'll take one. You take two, I'll take one. I'll still build it all under your line, but I can't build your whole business for you. So if you don't have somebody who's going to run it and you want me to run it, we're going to toggle a little bit just to make it worth everyone's while. And that's usually no
Right.
problem. So
But
yeah.
you could also get into a situation where you are enrolling on and placing under them, but you can't start placing on their inside leg. So you're
Well,
you're basically packing up a whole leg on their behalf. Would
so
that
I
be the
talked,
case?
yeah, and I mentioned this also. And in this case, like for instance, I share, like I have a physician on my outside left. And they're building, they've got tons of points on the outside left now after all this time, and they've got enough structure there. So their inside or their pay leg is what's being built right now. So when they send me people, if I were doing that toggle, which I'm not with this person, I'm just placing them all directly for him. But if I were, I would go ahead and allow myself to be the sponsor because that leg is growing and I know that it's going to keep growing but it would still be paying him the most, right? Or him or her. So that would be the only case, and I mentioned this on the last video, it's the only case that I would ever put somebody on that inside leg, is if I'm acting as a wellness coordinator in agreement with that physician. But I would rather not do that. And typically I don't do that, but certainly I could do that if I want to lock myself into that position. And it will support that person as well as me just fine because they're still on my left side. I just wouldn't build a whole organization for somebody else at all. I would not do that. And I wouldn't place, I'm always looking at which leg to put somebody on for those people just to make sure that they're not leaving a dime on the table. You know, if something's going to fall out on the other side, then I'm going to place the next one on the other side. But I don't have any problem working, you know, as a coordinator for these people because they're not doing so much when it comes to enrolling people in the tree. Most of them are doing preferred customers and wholesale retail. So
I have one lady that referred me to a healthcare provider, and if he gets started, I have this conundrum of, you know, and she's referred me to a few people who haven't bitten yet, but what if she, you know, wants to start building or wants to start making some money, then if she were the enroller for the doctor, then I'm working with multiple levels down of people, you know, then the doctor would be, I would be the first go-to for the doctor, and then I end up, you know what I'm saying? Like it's another.
Yes, and you could look at it that way. That's a little bit limiting, okay?
Yeah.
Because we're not, until they're pouring in 20 people a week, you really don't have a concern.
It's true.
So you could say, I'm willing to do this. If you're not ready to step into that role, I can do this for a little while. If it gets out of hand and you're benefiting directly from this, would you be willing to sit down and be trained so that you can handle this referral of yours? Otherwise, you know, you're doing all the work, and that would be a very, you know, just an equitable decision, I think, and not too difficult to have that conversation up front. But don't be worried. Like, it's not like they're going to send you 45 people. It just won't happen that fast. So you can always readjust, and don't let yourself be limited by the fear of that or who's going to be in control of it or whatever. Just make a mess, and then you can and just know. And also know that most offices are going to have somebody, you know, not all of them have a solid office manager or person at the front who they can really count on that's going to be there, who has been there for a long enough time. But that's the person you're really looking for. If you can find a head person that's running the show, that's the person you really want to train. But they have to be vested as well. So when I set up the physician in the first place, do you have somebody in your office who would be that person? I'd love to set them up so that I can train them to handle your people. And that way you could be in control of your business. But if they don't have that vision and I'm just trying to make them money to get them to keep talking about it, which is usually the case, I'm willing to do the work. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that hard.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Perfect. And go back to Monday's call too. I think we touched on it a little bit on Monday as well. I think Jill asked the questions. So anybody else have questions?
There's a couple more here. Alex, are you discontinuing your team Zoom trainings only, or both these and also your recruiting calls? Both.
It's all going for now. Yeah, it's all going for now. But the calls are still recorded and they're available.
And then Roger. Yeah. And then Roger said,
sorry, they're replaying them also. They're doing live replays of a past one. So you can still build into it.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I just don't have to do it live every time.
Okay, good to know. That's a good clarifying answer.
Yeah.
And Roger says, is there a link to the latest compliance letter?
I don't have it. I think it would be in the Facebook group if there is one. But is there one in the back office somewhere? Who said that they just saw it,
Maybe.
that was
I
repeated?
could
Sally,
yeah, I saw that.
Sally was the one who said it's the
Mhm.
same compliance letter from October. Sally, do you know where that is located? That would be good to find out. We got a new message.
Bummer, you guys are so
Aw,
Mark
thanks, Mark.
Mark says bummer. You guys
I
are
know.
so good, so smart, so predictable, normal. Thanks for all you've done.
I love
being
it.
here.
It's fun. I got to tell you, I especially enjoy impromptu shoot from the hip stuff. I really do. I'm not big on planning out exactly what. Usually we show up like 10 minutes before, we're texting each other. What are we talking about tonight?
Like, what are we talking about today?
What are we doing?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
What are people asking
Yeah.
for? That's my favorite. And honestly,
Yeah.
you guys, if there were enough people showing up for Q&A, I would do that every week, like 100%. I love that format.
Yeah.
And also hot seat coaching. Like I love that too. If you don't mind being on that hot seat and because that's where the biggest breakthroughs happen, honestly. And I love that kind of stuff. I wish I could do energy clearing on
Yeah.
on the call. Wouldn't that be nice? All right.
Yes.
Sally is looking. Thank you, Sally. All right. And it looks like, well, we can wait another minute or two here for Sally to get that answer for you. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, you can email me, but just don't expect a whole lot back. Better to go to Facebook and tag me there. But if you do want to email me, it's Alex, ALIX at sweetspotpower.com. You can email me there and I'll either guide you to something that answers your question or answer it the best I can, or give you some other reason that I can't answer it. Hopefully that won't be the case, but I'll do my best. I'll do my best. All right, she's still looking.
Okay.
Thank you, Sally, for that. And I think we're gonna call that a wrap, right? We're gonna call it for now. For now. We'll see if there's a need again in a few months and people are really asking for it, then we will definitely come back and take another peek at it for sure.
Totally.
In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead.
I love how we're lingering.
I'm going to post consciousness shift and awareness. Excuse me. I'm going to post really fast this here, share, copy. Can I copy that? Copy. Noticed and what I tend to teach. Share, copy link. Here we go. So guys, I'm going to just throw this into the chat really fast for you. This was the interview that I did with David Schmidt a few weeks ago. That was really fun. It was a metaphysical conversation with Mr. David Schmidt.
I love this interview. I've sent it to so many people and so many, like, if you like the metaphysical stuff, this is a fantastic interview. Yes, definitely post that link.
Looking for
Yeah, it's a great interview.
Hold on, I gotta put my glasses on. I've lost my Zoom page, so I gotta find that again. Hold on.
Oh.
And these glasses, of course, are not very good. Am I trying it? I'm not sharing screen. Okay, good. Where did Zoom go? Where did my Zoom go? Guys, I lost you. There you are. Okay. Chat.
Still here. We're still here.
There's the chat. There it is. Got it. Paste.
Do you want to post it in the Facebook?
There we go. What's that? What was the
Do you want me to
question?
post this in the Facebook group?
You can. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm going to post it. I'm going to post the one I did 3 years ago with him too, which was also excellent. Not that he's excellent. He's excellent. Not me. Foods or what have you. That. Okay. I get it talking. Okay. I'll find this one and I'm going to post it real fast and then we're going to wrap it because they're going to be posting the next. Here we go. Share, copy, and paste. Okay, guys. I think that one's it. Yeah, that's the second one.
Yeah. I watched that interview multiple times and just stopped it, paused it, took notes, broke it down. Like there's so much in there. It's a great interview.
Well, there's some stuff that's coming that he's creating right now too from this last one. I can't wait because he's infusing like stuff with light now. Like he's got some way of infusing stuff with light. And I'm just like, can we just hook us up to that directly overnight? Wouldn't that be sweet? Oh my gosh. Anyways, okay, I think we're good. Did Sally find the compliance? Oh, to email.
Sally said she sent it to your email.
Okay. Okay,
Got
Sabine.
it. Thank you. Roger says thank you.
You're welcome. Let me see if I can grab it from my email really fast. That would be really super handy dandy. No, because I won't be able to post it. All right, guys, I'll put it into the Facebook group if I can do that.
Okay.
All
So
right. I think we're gonna call it a wrap because they're gonna be broadcasting the next one. So what happened?
okay. Hey, thank
Why are you laughing? What did I miss?
I don't know. I'm just laughing because it's just like it's sad.
It is sad. It's
So it's a new
bittersweet.
chapter.
Okay. Bye, you guys.
Sad.
Love you so much. Thanks for showing up. And
Bye.
wish you the
Thank
best in your
you.
business. Yes, over the next 6 months. Go for it. Kick some butt. Let's do this. Change some lives. Bye, y'all.
Yeah.